Y'all check this out.
Aftercare is so important. Like, you've drilled your partner real good, you've stretched their hole, everybody's feeling great, and then you both finish together and it's amazing. And then you should cuddle and kiss and be intimate and nice, and it's just so much better than leaving.
We've talked about dating and relationships all week, but this episode is all about my favorite topic. We're reacting to content from all around the internet focused on the sex lives of queer people. Tonight on Dear Black Gay Men podcast, the show starts right now. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. It is Thursday, so it's time for a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's still our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is our midweek reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men and love black gay men. There are a couple creators that I appreciate when it comes to sex talk, both adult creators and not. But either way, I think our culture can benefit from more candid conversation about not just what turns us on, but why. So tonight, I know the comments are gonna hate me for this, but we're doing another show about sex, and we're gonna do it anyway. Remember, if you have an opinion about the topic, you can join us live on the show by going to livestream.dearblackgaymen.com. The link is pinned in the comments. But first, it is time for church announcements. Hit it. Every week, I write about the ups and downs of my dating journey on our blog on Substack. It's a deep dive into my emotional and sexual trials while I manifest my man in 2025. I will tell you this. Substack has been giving me everything I need in addition to our daily show here on YouTube. I have had some of the most interesting conversations about everything on Substack. And if you are not a member of Substack, if you don't subscribe, think of Substack like Tumblr meets OnlyFans meets Twitter without the problematic CEO. Like, it is long form content, it is short form content. It's that you can follow your favorite political creators, but you can also get just a little smut, a little freak talk, a little sex talk, along with a little love and relationship and motivation and writing and all the things. I love Substack as a user, and I am, of course, Dear Black Gay Men has its own column on Substack, so make sure that you are tapped in. You can join for free by clicking the screen, or the link is in the description. How to hook up like a pro. Last week, one of the hookup apps came up in the conversation. We all voiced our issues with how men navigate the conversation to set up an entanglement. We all do it, but there are some basic rules that will help you and I have better entanglements. Number one, avoid last-minute vibe changes. Don't be the "you got a homeboy bottom" or drop a "my roommate sleep in the other room." State your intentions and barriers up front. Nobody likes a vibe change when their dick is already hard or they're already in the car. Then number two, get pertinent information before the address. If you're curious about his status, ask him. If you want to know about his prevention methods or if he's alone, ask him. Be responsible for your own clarity before exchanging addresses or contact information. By the time you're checking Google Maps, all the questions should be answered. Then number three, always give and receive 100%. Tops, deliver the package you promised. Bottoms, receive the package you expected. If this isn't a non-experience, do that. If it's a come and go scene, do that. If it's a smoke and stroke, let that be that. If you want to hook up to turn into a regular or a date or a session with a different vibe, start a new conversation with a different intention. Give everyone involved the opportunity to get on board or not. Otherwise, you'll end up with mixed feelings because one person wants something that the other person didn't agree to. I wrote about why our black men's hookups are so dope on Substack. If you want to entangle like a pro, like me, comment vibe and I'll send you a link. Subscribe for more dope queer stories. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the link to the Hookup Handbook is in the description. The best way to support what we do here on Dear Black Gay Men is to become a YouTube member. Members get access to exclusive conversations, the members only chat, behind the scenes content, and you can join me to chop it up on the show. A portion of your memberships and your super chats will be donated to an Atlanta area nonprofit providing HIV prevention and care in black gay culture. Just hit the join button below this episode or send a super chat of any amount. For all the latest updates, follow me everywhere on socials at JAI the Gentleman on Instagram and Threads. That concludes our church announcements. Please govern thyself accordingly, and we will be right back. The show got good. I thought I was spicy vanilla, but tonight I've learned I'm deep into the extremist end of the kink freak spectrum. Then it got even better. He nutted, then asked me if he could pee in me, and I was nervous. What did it feel like? But it felt good. Live from the back room every Thursday on YouTube. Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. So we got a comment right here from Kevy Kev. He says, when is the next time Aaron's going to poke his pretty head on the podcast? Fun fact, I'll tell y'all, give y'all an update about Aaron. So Aaron and I will be going to New Orleans. That is one of the reasons why we want to make sure that this episode was so dope. But he and I are going to New Orleans tomorrow, or he might be on a plane right now. Either way, he and I will be in New Orleans. But we have given Aaron time and space to get acclimated to his new role. He has a very exciting new position that he just took, and he asked for, but I don't know why he needed to ask, but he took some time off from the podcast because he wanted to get totally acclimated to his new job. I'm excited for this new job that Aaron has. I love the fact that Aaron is pursuing his passions and his goals and dreams. And he has communicated that Dear Black Gay Men is still a part of his heart space, so he will be back at some point. But for right now, Aaron is working out the kinks of a new role, a new direction, a new career path, and we're excited about that. A couple hey, how you doing? Baran is back. He said he's glad to be here today. I'm glad to have you. K. Braff says good evening, fam. What I do appreciate is the fact that we have become a little bit of a family here on Dear Black Gaming Podcast. Like I said in the chat, and I said on a show this week sometime, I forget which show, but my job here is to just cultivate a conversation. And I want to hear everything that y'all got to say about all the topics. So y'all are as much a part of the conversation as I am. I just get to do it live on the internet in front of a camera and under some lights. Y'all get to do it in the chat. For those who join us to voice your 2 cents, y'all get to come on the show. We get to have a dialogue. Keith Lewis says, "Hey Jay, glad I was able to see the live. I'm glad you're able to see the live too." Kevy Kev says, "Here's the like button." Kevy Kev is probably the biggest cheerleader for Dear Black Gay Men, one of the biggest cheerleaders. I don't want to forget anybody, but I appreciate Kevy Kev. Kevy Kev might have been rocking with me since like the beginning. And with Stephen Black says, "Good evening from LA." Hey Stephen. It's early in LA. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited about it. So our Thursday show is where we react to short form content from across the internet. Today's topic is definitely about sex. So if you're not a sexual person, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to get very raunchy. I am not going to take my clothes off. We are not going to get any content strikes tonight, but we are going to have some very candid conversations about the topic that I love to talk about. It's going to be a mixed bag from what I am told. The reels that we're going to be talking about are a little of this, a little of that, and a little in the middle. This first one stars Ray J, of all people. Ray J? Ray J? We shall see. Okay.
Bro, I'm like, bro, got mad because I told Kyle I want to take a shower with you and stream with you at ISO Speed in the shower.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. I'm like, I want to take a shower with y'all niggas too. They like, yo.
Hold on. What's your sexuality?
You just asked me about Amber.
I'm asking
I
you.
have shout out to the gay agency. I shouted out to the gay agency. Actually, the gay agency's here. Dumpin' D, The Rod. They're the CEO.
Do you play both ways?
Come on, bro. I ain't never played both ways.
Okay. I
ain't
think
never
that's
played both
important
ways.
to.
Am I the drama? Like, does it sound like he's saying that he wanted to take a shower with another man? Like, is that what y'all heard? That is what transpired. right? Like Ray J is on international internet on Blue Ivy's internet saying he wanted to take a shower with a man. Like, did y'all hear that or am I the drama? I feel like I might be the drama. I'm hoping I might be the drama. He didn't just say that. Please tell me he didn't just say that. Sip sauce. Real quick, is it sip sauce or is it kip sauce? That C is throwing me off. If it's sip sauce, like put the phonetic spelling there. Ray J is trolling to the 10th power, Kevin Kev says. Antoine McCalvin says, yes, that's what he said. Okay. Maybe I am not the drama, but it sounded like he is on Cam Newton's piece of the internet saying that he want to take a shower with a man and stream it. Real quick. Not that this is the direction it's going. I don't know what's about to happen in this reel. But y'all remember the young one from Empire? Yaz, Taz, something as y'all, the young one, what was his name on Empire? Cause he has gone gay baity, hasn't he? Or he might be in the eligibility committee. I don't know. I remember he was very, very straight on the show, but that was a character because there was a gay character on the show that is not gay, so on and so forth. But he was very, very straight on the show. And then the Empire ended. Brashear Gray, that's it. Brashear Gray, he has been dipping his foot in the gay pie. Is he a member of the eligibility committee? Because and the only reason I bring that up is I distinctly remember seeing Brashear Gray streaming something with somebody who had a penis in a shower, and he does a lot of gay baity kind of content. J926 says Hakeem Sipsauce. I think he just gay for pay for whatever I gathered. Baran says he makes cringe how quickly the interviewer went to ask, "Are you gay?" question. Okay. Baran, let me ask you, follow up. And again, not trying to challenge. This is just conversation, friendly conversation between friends. Like, if a presumed straight man says, "I want to take a shower with another man," where would the conversation go otherwise? Like, far as I know, Ray J, the person who popularized Kim Kardashian, person who is known for having sex on camera with women, cisgender women, is saying on a podcast that he wants to stream in the shower with another man, men plural. It seems as if that would be the next logical question, wouldn't it? Gay people pay millions collectively to see straight men. It's a lucrative business. Now, I give you that. It is definitely a lucrative business. And the only reason why it doesn't appeal to me is because I like femininity. Like, it does not make me think lustful thoughts to see two very masculine men on camera, bumping uglies. That does not appeal to me personally. Now, I do appreciate masculinity. I find men attractive in all shapes, sizes, and colors. But part of me in the sex conversation wants to hear a little bit of a high pitched voice, a little bit of a feminine twang. I want to see a little back bend. I want to see a arch. I want to see all the things that socially we would call feminine. Now, I don't care who it's from. I don't give a shit if it's from the top or the bottom. But I want to see the blend of masculine and feminine energies in the sex talk. But I'm learning that there are a lot of gay for pay people out there. And now again, I don't know what's about to happen with this one with Ray J. But I know Brashear Gray has done a lot of adult content here recently where I thought he was straight, but maybe that is, heteronormativity being expressed in my experience. That, I just assume people are straight until they tell me otherwise. Like, fun fact, when I meet somebody, regardless of if they are masculine or feminine presenting, when I meet a new person, especially a man, I'll ask, "Are you straight?" Because I'm looking for, are you anything short of straight? Long as you say, "No, I'm not straight," I'm like, "Okay, I got it." I don't need to know if you're queer or bisexual or gay or trans or any of the other letters, but as long as I know you not straight, I'm like, "I got it." Or if I know you are straight, I know how to engage with you. Some comments came in. Xander said, "There's nothing hotter than two masculine bros going at it when there's no feminine in the room. It's so hot and carnal. The energy is intoxicating when masculine men get together." I mean, I respect that for you. That's not my cup of tea, but heard, received. I get it. I I love some sugar in the tank somewhere. I love a switch. I love an arch. I love a high pitched moan. I love that. Like there used to be this porn house called the Dog Pound. And when the Dog Pound started, it was very, very masculine. Very only masculine all the time. And then they started just introducing other types of men. And when they diversified, I call it diversified. That's when I that's when I'm with Jay when he's right. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Fair. Uh yes, you agree. I agree with you, Jay. Yeah. A King says I couldn't be Wait, A King says I couldn't disagree more, laughing my ass off. Which one are you disagreeing with? But Ron says Ray J in particular is not gay baiting, in my opinion, nor is he closeted. What I gathered from that interview is that he might be at the stage where he's craving intimacy with his male friends. Okay. Okay. Another question for the chat. Intimacy with male friends. I This is a good one. This is a good question. Y'all ready for it? So I acknowledge intimacy and sex are different. They do not have to include each other. You can have sex with no intimacy, and you can have intimacy with no sex. However, where do those two things fit together? I can be cuddled up on the sofa with someone I am genuinely attracted to. That can be a very intimate moment. My dick never responds, and I can be okay with that. That can be perfectly okay for me, right? I can be ass naked, blowing your back out, never even know your name, don't even care. And that's also okay. But when does intimacy become sex and when does sex become intimacy as they are getting closer together? Like to me, taking a shower with another man, now for me, because I'm a gay man, that means intimate and sex and there's overlap. But how do you have a sexual situation where there's no intimacy but we naked? That's the question. How do you have a sexual situation with intimacy? How do you have a situation with intimacy and we're naked with no sex? That's the question. How? But Ron, I'm asking you that because he may very well want some intimacy with his male friends, or he might just want to make good content. We'll see what happens in the next part of the clip. But how do you have a situation with no clothes and sex and intimacy in a shower and it not lead to sex? That them three things, like 1 + 1 + 1 gotta equal 3 to me. And I'm asking y'all, how do you have those things? Sex is a form of intimacy, but not all. J926 says sex is a form of intimacy, but not all has to involve sex. I absolutely agree with that. I fully agree. We on the same page, J926. Fully agree. Sex and intimacy do not always have to exist in the same space, right? But if intimacy and no clothes happens in my head, that is a sexual scenario. Ray J and Brashear comes with the price. This isn't dating with a man, relationship with a man. This is I can make six figures because this population. Gay folks will pay. Again, I agree with you, NYCBK. Xander Cruz says straight men do not take showers together unless they're in the locker room. Ain't no way, LMAO. I 100% think he's gay baiting. That Xander, now again, Xander, I appreciate you being here. I think you and I can both acknowledge there are a whole bunch of things we don't agree with. That's not one of them. I am on your page there. If we ass naked in the shower, two men, and we have a level of any other kind of intimacy, emotional intimacy, friendly intimacy, and we ass naked in the shower, that is a sexual situation to me. But I color that, the context I bring to that is I am a gay man. So, of course, it's going to be sexual. Does it have to be with straight people? I'm curious about that. Or is he just gay baiting? Let's see. We're going to keep going with this clip.
To mention,
Not
because
really.
when you say you want to shower with another man,
Think about it like this. People's sexuality. Why? What does that matter?
it does not. That's
Then
what
why? But why ask the question?
because it's just like the question that I asked in regards to you saying that you're not a brother.
No, not you.
Okay.
I'm talking about in general. Like, why ask the question of what actual whole are people enjoying? That's what we're asking. Because somebody could be an ear fucker. What is the...
That one lost me. You lost me. What it sounds like what Ray J is trying to say is any hole is a goal. Because this is, again, I preface this with the NSFW in the beginning of the show. So y'all go with me. In my head, tell y'all a story. I like an anonymous scene. I truly do. I like blindfolds. I like face down, ass ups. I like glory holes. I like all the things that go along with anonymous scenes. When it comes down to it, in the purest sense of the word, I don't know who's on the other end of that. I don't know what kind of person is attached to whatever's happening on the other end of this wall. This hole, this whatever. And so when you boil down sex to the simplest possible terms, Ray J got a point there. Like, when you boil it down to the simplest terms, a dick and a hole, what does sexuality even matter? Now, granted enough, I don't know if that's what he's trying to say, but that's where my head went. Xander Cruz says, I love anon scenes too. A King says, straight dudes be out here doing whole circle jerks and claim there's nothing intimate or sexual about it. I think, okay, I might get canceled for this because I have a show called Dear Black Gay Men. But I do think that in some instances, we put a lot more emphasis on sexual identity than we need to. And again, that is counterintuitive from Jay the Gentleman, the host of Dear Black Gay Men. But I do think that we put a lot of emphasis, a lot of priority on the words people use to call themselves. That's why, like, every time we have the DL conversation, ironically, I have never had to come out to a DL man. And nor has he ever asked me. It's, do we want to do this or not? He's attracted to me. I'm attracted to him. And it does not matter between those two people whether I'm gay or bisexual or he is bi or tri or straight or whatever. And ironically, in DL situations, and I think Xander, you might be the one who put this in the chat a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, is that when you deal with these very DL masculine men, the connection is just so simple. In my experience, the connection be so simple. I like you, you like me, and this is what we're going to do. I have never had to negotiate top, bottom, or verse with a DL man. I have never had to negotiate gay, straight, or otherwise with a DL man. I have never had to figure out who's going to do what with a DL man. I've never had to deal with position politics, with emasculation, with any of the stuff that comes with gay men with a DL man. It's, I like you and I'm gonna figure this shit out. I have there are I'll give you one story about a DL dude, and I ain't gonna dwell on this because but I will say there is lessons to be learned from men who simplify the process. One dude that I messed with long time ago, I was probably 22, and this is when I was super fishy trying to figure out who I am and how I navigate space, right? I'm really, really feminine expressing, but it was a performance. I think now more than ever, this is me. But at the time, I was expressing a lot more femininity, like colored contacts. And this was back when the skinny boys used to buy, like little boys underwear that have like Spider-Man or Batman or Superman on the ass, and you would sag. So I'm wearing like these extra, extra large husky little boys drawers just so I can show off my ass. Like I was the queeniest butch queen you would have ever known, right? But I'm driving down Grand Avenue in my Chevy Cavalier. Dude's out there, right? Now I know this dude because everybody in the gay circles that I walk in know that he's one of that he's trade, right? That he DL. We connect. I take him back to my spot. We get there. As fishy as I am, he just kind of fell into the vibe that my home created. He was very masculine, very big spoon, and he was a bottom for me. I never once had to negotiate. You ain't climbing my back, and all the things that come with how gay men interact in those instances. It just worked. And he was a regular of mine for a while. Apparently, he liked what I gave him. I liked what he gave me, and it just kind of worked. And I would bet money. I would bet American dollars and cents, US dollars and cents, although the price of them is declining, and who knows, it might be Trump on them one of these days soon. But I would bet American dollars and cents that if we had that simple of an interaction, emotionally, physically, sexually, intimately, with other gay men, a lot more of us would be in relationships. We just complicate it with all of this bullshit, and it's so ironic that, Ray J is the one who inspired this. There's a whole bunch of comments. Let me get to some of them. Baron said Jay in particular, Ray J is not gay baiting, in my opinion, nor is he closeted. What I gather from what I interview is that he might be at the stage where he is craving it. Oh, that we talked about that one. I'm way, way, way too far away. Hold on. This is starting with Baron again. Will we have the same reaction for a woman saying the exact same thing? That's a really good question. I don't think black culture, I don't know if it's a gay or straight thing, but I don't think black culture holds women to the same standard of sexuality and sexual identity that we hold men to. But that's just me. I could be the drama. Omar says, yep, Kevy Kev. Xander Cruz said, I think categories, words people use to describe themselves matter because identity matters. I can have a non-sex with a bi man, but dating or more with a bi man is a no-go for me because of identity. Um, I see that. I think before I just said everything I just said, I probably would agree, but I literally evolved for myself, for me. No shade to anybody who hasn't or who sees it differently, but I evolved for myself because in my head, I'm like, if you like me, I like you. You look good, I look good. You vibey, I vibey. Then we can't just figure it out. Is like sexuality unfigureoutable for you, Xander, or others in the chat? Is sexuality unfigureoutable? That's the question that I got. Holla at your boy said, there's a double standard with men and women, and the whole gay world at Baran. Understood. Sip Sauce says, I've had the worst experience in the bedroom with DL dudes. Not me. What part of the globe are you in, Sip Sauce? Eclair. Now, I've said this many times, as this is not intended to flirt, but I will say there is something powerful about a black man who does not mind smiling in a picture. So shout out to you in this profile picture. Eclair. Hope I'm saying it right. Robert Diaz. Hey, Robert. I ain't seen that name in a couple days. Wow. I don't remember, but I like seeing you here. I agree with Jay about DL, man. It is simple. Some gay men have too many rules when it comes to sexual encounters. I think we just have too many rules when it comes to encounters, period. Encounters, period. Like, I think it could all be so simple, but we'd rather make it hard in my Lauryn Hill voice. Kevy Kev says, Jay, you should post some of those old pictures of you on your social media. No. No, I will paint a picture though. So imagine me 100 pounds lighter. I'm 5'10", 220 right now. Imagine me, no, like 80 pounds lighter. I was like 145 at the time. Had a 29-inch waist and I wore a size 9 shoe, 5'9", 5'10" back then. I had locks down to my nipples. I wore um for a period of time, I wore contacts that matched my outfit. If I'm wearing blue, I was wearing blue contacts. If I wore purple, I was wearing amethyst. If I wanted to be vibey, I would wear gray, and they looked artificial. It wasn't the fancy contacts we got now. It was the fakest looking contacts you could ever imagine. Eyebrows way too thin. I do my eyebrows now, but eyebrows way too thin, no facial hair, clear skin, with a voice that sounded like this. I had a voice that I was up here. I talked in my head all the time. All the time. I was just up here. And now I've kind of settled into sounding less like a girl. Like less like a girl, but more like a girl. Eclair says, "Hey Siri, play NDRE, the truth." Dope. Let's keep going. Let's see what Ray J got to say.
They're not gay and they're not straight. They like fucking ear holes. Who are they? A new name of hole fuckers. It's irrelevant.
Okay. Okay. Red that Now Ray J was hitting on something in that middle part, right? He said something very unexpected in the beginning. He was hitting on something in the middle part. He lost me with the ear fuckers. Like, you're legitimately in my head, all I can hear is Donald Trump saying they're eating the dogs. And we all know that was some bullshit. The way that he demonized Haitian folk. Haitian? I think he was talking about Haitian immigrants. But the way he demonized it, but all I can hear is they're eating the dogs. I don't know why. Okay, this next one it was the video I played at the top of the show about Aftercare. Check this out.
Together and it's amazing. And then you should cuddle. Care is so important. Like you've drilled your partner real good, you've stretched their hole, everybody's feeling great, and then you both finish together and it's amazing. And then you should cuddle and kiss and be intimate and nice, and it's just so much better than leaving.
Okay. I'm glad that whomever found this one. Shout out to the team. But Aftercare, Baron says, you previously said you're gonna be 40. I'm calling you Uncle Jay from now on. I am an uncle now. I am somebody's uncle. I like being called Uncle Jay. I love it. I will tell you, sidebar. Excuse me, before I get to Aftercare, I like being called Uncle Jay and I like being called Sir. Those are the two. Though Sir is a trigger word for me. Do y'all know what trigger words are? Trigger words in Gooner culture are words that come up in sexual situations to make you go deeper. Like when you are a Gooner or a baiter and you get lost in sexual situations, people might call it subspace. But there are things that your partner can say or things that can come up in the atmosphere that are triggers. For some people, it's like smells. People like, armpits or feet or, musk, M-U-S-K. Sometimes a smell can be a trigger for you and it'll make you go there. There are parts of your body that can be triggered, like people who are into nipples or, kissing their ear, all the things. Those can be triggers. But for others, there are trigger words. And sir, calling me sir is one of those for me. I enjoy being called sir. If I hear that from someone who is remotely attractive to me, if I hear somebody call me sir, that'll send me like immediately ready. Immediately. Immediately ready for whatever the day may whatever the situation might bring. I am not daddy does not do that for me, although I understand that that does something for others, but sir does it for me. Uncle is not a trigger because my niece calls me Uncle Jay and my nephew eventually will call me Uncle Jay. Uncle is not a trigger for me. That's cute. I appreciate it. I appreciate the respect because people put, but uncle is up from a gay man, uncle is up there with daddy. I think other people get something out of calling me that versus the other way around. But if you call me sir, that is a trigger word for me. Words like penis, uh, penis pleasure, dong, those are triggers for me. If I like whispering in my ear saying all of those things are triggers for me. Super chat from Man of Wars. That's a donation. We're don't for those who don't know, we a portion of our super chats from now to the end of the year are being donated to a local nonprofit. We are supporting the work of the people. Appreciate you, Man of Wars. Panthro says one of his trigger words is boy. I hear that a lot. A lot of people like being called a good boy. Omar says cock might be one of his trigger words. Cock is actually the reverse for me. I do not like cock ever. That make my dick soft. Itachi Uchi. I haven't seen that name in forever. I used to you used to be in the chat a long time ago. Is that a subtle power dynamic being called sir? Yes. It is absolutely a dom play. I like respect turns me on. Or when someone asks me for permission to do something, especially when I've built that connection. I've talked a little bit about earning those responsibilities, earning the right to be a sir in somebody's life. But when someone asks me for permission, like I'll give you an example. Was taking somebody out. I was dating this guy one time, and we were going to a leather bar, and at these leather bars, you wear all the things. I'm wearing a harness that's attached to a cock ring and a kilt with some Doc Martens and a DBGM hat. He was wearing like leather suspenders and a leather mask. And as we are getting ready, as we are preparing, I'm putting on my harness, I'm getting all together to go out the door. We are still at the house. He asked me, he says, "Can I wear this, sir?" And I said, "Absolutely." Now, mind you, I ended up eating his ass before we left. But what up? We Dilly joined. Shout out to you, Wee Dilly. But he absolutely asked me, he asked for permission. "May I wear this, sir?" Yes. Yes, you may. And then, of course, one of his trigger words were he likes to be called a good boy. He likes to be called, um, uh, he likes to be affirmed. "You're doing such a good job. Very good." All those kind of things. Itachi says, "I always think good times and Michael saying boy is a white racist word." Mind you, let me add some context to this. I absolutely agree with you. That the survive, I can appreciate. No, let me not say that. I've never been called sir by somebody who wasn't black. But I would not even invite somebody into that level of vulnerability with me who wasn't black. Person I was dating that called me sir, black. When I called him a good boy, black. Like we understood that we are not adding a racial component to this. I don't know that I would be able to participate in the same thing with somebody who wasn't black. We Dilly said this conversation sincerely makes no sense to me. I call everyone sir and ma'am. This conversation about dom subculture. Agreed. It is about dom subculture. This is not blanket general respect that we black people, I'm assuming that you're black, we Dilly, but that we black people do. This is a very intentional use of language to affirm someone's position in your life. It is a very, very intentional, different use of language to affirm someone's position. I think when I call, like, if I call my, older gentleman in Black culture, if I call him sir, that's just because I got good home training. That's one intention. I got good home training and I will put some respect on your name. I call people sir or doctor. Like my father's a doctor, so when he is called doctor in, a whole bunch of spaces. That is one thing. The difference is when you are in dom subspaces, there is a totally different intention you're putting behind it. You're not just respecting someone's age, you're respecting the position that you have given them in your life. That is why sir matters to me, because you are showing respect for the position you have either created or given to me in your life. And that is why sir is a trigger for me. We Dilly said, RJ Gas and Super Chat, yay! I should have been doing the thing for each of you. Thank you, I appreciate it. We Dilly says, I'm not Black, but rather an American descendant of enslaved, and there is a fundamental difference, respectfully. I can respect that. Let me also add, just before I respond to Aftercare, because that is how we got here. For you, We Dilly, if you are not Black, but you are a descendant of, how'd you put it? We Dilly said, I'm not Black, but rather an American descendant of of the enslaved, and there is a fundamental difference. Now, I want to double tap here because I think I'm understanding and I like the conversation. Help me understand, if not Black. No, why not Black? I too am a descendant of American enslaved individuals, but I also am African. I'm Kenyan. So the reason I like that is because when I use the term African American, I'm saying my daddy is African, my mama is American, and I put the two together, and that is me. But for you, help me understand. I really want to double tap on that. Help me understand when you say I'm not Black, why not Black for you? And I hope I don't sound like I'm trying to challenge that. I am genuinely curious. Okay. While We Dilly is hopefully responding to that, I hope again I hope I didn't offend. We Dilly also said, I like dominant men, but not in this context. The space has always made me uncomfortable and gives enslavement vibes, and that's why I'm uncomfortable as an American descendant of the enslaved. Okay, that's fair. I heard, and that I think is a dynamic that only Black people would have. Only uh, your term is American descendant of enslaved individuals. We would only have that kind of context, which that's why I have such respect for it. We Dilly say, you've spoken of your father and the word queer. You know you are Kenyan. I have no idea who I am and who I come from. As an American descendant of enslaved, we had to build our own culture. Would you not call that Black culture? I hope I'm not offending anybody with this conversation, but this is really interesting to me. Like, would you not say? Because the reason why I am so pro Black is because the enslaved created a culture, because the culture of our home, wherever that home may have been, was stripped of us. And so we came to this as aliens in this on this piece of land. And I think that what we built out of that is Blackness, is Black culture. And that is why I think it's so rich. We Dilly said, and ethnicity, we are only ethnicity in the world that had everything taken from us. Yes. We are the blueprint for humanity. Yes. We are a new ethnic group. Yes. You know you're Kenyan, and that's an amazing gift. Yes. Yes, I am Kenyan. That is an amazing gift. That is a blessing and a privilege that a lot of, again, your words is a lot of the descendants of American descendants of enslaved people do not have the luxury of. A lot of people don't know where from the continent they come from. Got it. But help me understand why not affirm the term black as a synonym for, or as a component of the American descendant of enslaved. This is so interesting. RJ Gaston says, I'm saying, wait, I'm Jamaican American. My father's from Jamaica and my mother's American. Exactly. Now I say that my father is Kenyan and my mom is black. And so I take Black American, I take African American, I take all those things. Saying in a very similar way that you take that you affirm Jamaican American. I'm here for that. We Dilly said, I don't believe in skin color, only ethnicity. Okay, I see that. Okay. Okay. Man of War says, how do you think racism came into existence? Is that a rhetorical question, or are you adding that to the chat? We Dilly, also, I need my people to be proud of being descendants of enslaved, to be from nameless people and still be here. It's an amazing gift. Yes, I agree. You don't take offense when other people use the term black, do you? Because again, I mean, the show's called Dear Black Gay Men. This is so interesting. This is so interesting that we got here. But I'm not black. It's just you are a person with more melanin, and white is melanin deficient. Okay. Okay. But you don't get offended when other people use the term black, do you? I understand where you're coming from totally. I do like the term black though, and I bleed into it because it unites. Oh no, feel it unites. I lost it. Okay, Sip Sauce says, I bleed into it because I feel it unites us by myself. I'm Afro Latino. Got it. Let me tell y'all this before I move on to the next one, because the next one is called Gay Code. The reason why I picked the name Dear Black Gay Men is because I wanted all of these terms, black, gay, and men, to be umbrellas. For instance, in the chat today, we have someone who is Jamaican American. Biran, I know, is West African. I am East African. We have black people from the South, from the North, the East Coast, and the West Coast. We've got people that are multiracial in this chat. We've got people that are mixed with various cultures. People who I think we have somebody who is like black and Latino, black and Asian, black. There's so many different versions of all of us. And the one thing that joins us together is some level of identity with black. Maybe not the word, but with the culture. Same thing about gay. There are people in the chat that identify as bisexual, as uh queer, as gay, same gender loving. There are people who do not accept any of those terms, but we might not identify with the word, but we definitely identify with the culture. Same thing with men. We have had people that are trans experienced, people that are cisgender men, people who don't identify with either, who are non-binary or who are intersex. We have all of those things in this family of Dear Black Gay Men. And so when I say Dear Black Gay Men, I want to be very clear that all three of those are umbrellas for a bigger, larger group of people. And I just found the one through line that connects us all. Being black, being of black culture, whether we like the word or not, being of gay culture, whether we like the word or not, and being masculine bodied. And that's the thing that connects us all. And that is what I love about this show, is that we are black, gay men, or adjacent. I love it. That's just me. I see Haitian, Bahamian, and American, Creole. I get the umbrella and that makes sense, but I'd rather we lean into our beautiful ethnicities and not color of our skin. That's why white people are weird. I agree with that now. White people are weird as hell. Ooh, something about Obama. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Come on in. I love it when people come to the studio. They think they gotta like tiptoe. Can't nobody hear you? There's somebody over there. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is called Gay Code. Gay Magazine, GAYE, Gay Magazine on Instagram has a series on Snapchat called Gay Code. And think like there was Girl Code on MTV years ago. Gay Code is the same thing, but with the gays. Let's see what they talking about.
And you don't like it.
I am your sister, bitch.
So I popped my balloon because, bitch, if we want to do it, we want to do it.
We have a new thing called sides.
Top, verse, bottom, side.
They are a fairly new species that we're dealing with.
I hope I get the right definition because I sure don't know what that is.
I'm a side. I've been a side for years.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Like, who doing the bending? Neither one of us, because I'm...
This one is a totally different change. I quote that girl so many times. Y'all know the girl talking about the buses are nasty, the buses are filthy, the buses are not new. And she said a long periodically time. I have Mrs. Doctor's apartments. I hope y'all know the real. But I quote her. But she said we need a totally different change. This is a totally different change. What do y'all think about sides? SIDES, sides. What I understand about sides is we dilly, perfect timing. He said, what the fuck is a side? Okay, a side is a gay man that prefers not to have penetration. You know, tops do the sticking, bottoms get stuck, verse are a combination of the two. Side is no sticking at all. They don't do penetration. They don't receive nor give penetration. Panthro says, sorry, I can't date a side. Why? Panthro, I need the dick in my belly. Get in my belly. Y'all remember that from who said that? Who said that? Was that Fat Albert or was that the Clumps? Austin Powers, get in my belly. That was it. Mike Myers as Austin Powers. Okay, side lives matter. Side lives do matter. But okay, now this again might be me showing my age or acting old. But you know, when I came out, you were either a top or a bottom. Verse was a new phenomenon when I first came out, splashed onto the scene. And because I was a little fishy boy, everybody thought that feminine equal bottom equal the girl in the relationship. And that just kind of went together. And tops were masculine and they were the man. Then we started blending the things together with verse. And what I'm learning is our culture is trying to, this is what I really believe, our culture is trying to decouple mannerisms from sexual position from anything heteronormative related, right? And I think side is just the next iteration of that, where we don't have to be so connected to where the dick is going. Hold on. We Dilly said not a Holla at Your Boy said it's Austin Powers. We Dilly said not a side. So what's a side for hetero people? I don't know that sides have. I don't know that hetero people have sides. I ain't even thought about it. I can date a side literally as a side, but I'm going to still need. Hold on. Tennis Lover says, I can date a side as a side, but I'm still going to need the dick and ass. Is that like you could date a side but have an open relationship, or would you ask them to compromise? How would that work for you, Tennis Lover 08? Itachi Uchiha. I hear that is an anime name. I thought that was either Asian or Nigerian, but it's anime. Sides are bait sessions. They're a little snack, but not a full meal. Kamal Rashad says, LOL, not back in my day. I'm an old bitch, honey. NYCBK says, I need to be in the warm, wet hole. Side will never work. To be honest, it was never a consideration. Okay. That's fair. But hear me out. Hear me out. If I were to play the devil's advocate, because I am there's like a feminist, a person who believes in social. I am a bottomist, a person who believes the social, political, and economic equality of all the positions. And side is one of them. If, for instance, let me ask the whole chat and you can chime in. I'll tell the people what you say. If, for instance, you were a top or bottom, you were on the poles of sexual position, right? Full top, full bottom, and you fall in love with a verse. What is the solution to that? Is it one of us got to compromise? We're open. We're going to have an agreement. What is the compromise if I am total top or total bottom and I fall in love with someone who is a combination of the middle? What will your response to that be? Everybody in the chat, let me know. You, hypothetically speaking, you're a total top or you're a total bottom, but you fall in love with a verse dude. Verse top, verse bottom, fully verse, whatever you call it. But he is, I want a little of this, a little of that. What would be your solution to that? Okay, the person in the studio said either I would do both for them or we got to find somebody else. What would y'all say? If, for instance, because I'm going somewhere with this, if, for instance, you are a total top or a total bottom and you fall in love with somebody who is some kind of verse, what do you do? Omar says, I'd be open. We Dilly said, the solution is you love that person and you love them. You're going to bend for them because you want to. I don't believe in total anything. Okay. Now, understanding that, We Dilly and J926 says we can compromise. Holla at your boy, we can compromise. If I am 100% penetration oriented and you fall in love with someone who is not, why could you not make a similar type of compromise? Why could you not also be like, okay, we'll find someone else, or I will come up off of my penetration and you will try to do some sticking every once in a while. Why can't sides get the same type of compromise or consideration that a verse guy would, or a top or a bottom? Person in the studio says, I'm with you. KVK says, compromise, the hole in the pole will be given up. Hold on. KVK says, the hole in the pole will be given up. No open relationship. I think and this is me just playing devil's advocate because I too am troubled when it comes to dating a side. I do think that until we can fully acknowledge that side is a sexual position, like as much as verse is, because again, I think we can all either think back or historically remember a time with, the girls were tops and bottoms. That was it. And then verse became a thing, and we had to convince culture that people could be versatile and not you just an undercover bottom. But once we acknowledge that being a side is an actual position, top, verse, bottom, bottom, side. Those are your 6 options. Once we acknowledge that, I think our culture will be a lot more open to the conversation about compromising for a side. I think our tone, myself included, is just we don't see sides as a full position. We Dilly says side is not a sexual position, and I would disagree. I think side absolutely is a sexual position because what would it be if it isn't? Itachi says, because I feel it's a new thing, some will stand on business just to say they are a part of something different at the moment. Otherwise, open. I lost it. I don't be reading fast enough. It says, oh, I know who that is. I know you. Okay, it says, otherwise, open communication comes into play. Okay. But it sounds like that's just another way of saying side ain't a sexual position. And I think side really is. It's not for a lot of us. It's not for me either. Like the dick got to go somewhere. I love the way I feel inside somebody. I love it. I love the way, whether it's in your throat, in your mouth, in your epiglottis, in your hole, in your stomach, wherever the dick goes, I love the way I feel in there for me. But there are people that are like, crazy edge sessions and bait bros and, go out 3000 and eat some ass, suck some nipples, toe play, tie you up, bondage, waterworks, all of those things are enough. Like I talked to one dude, he was a cuck. I think that's what it's called, where he gets off watching his partner have sex with other men. He is a side because he does not want to engage in the penetration of it, but he gets sexual gratification from watching his partner have sex with somebody else. I don't know if that is the cuck or what, but I think that is cuckolding. We daily said, okay, if side is a position, what does that mean? They giving head, they stroking together. What does it mean? They doing all of the things. The only thing a side doesn't do, from my understanding, is put their dick in somebody or let their dick go inside them. Anally. A King says, we appreciate a good cuck. Yes. Can a person be a verse side? Again, this is from interviewing several sides. But yes, you can be a verse side. Like there are sides who prefer to give oral and get their ass ate. JKV Kev says before, the fun fact, Sincerely Luffy was my guest for the episode about sides, and I had two guests. One was pro side, one was like, nope, the dick got to go somewhere. What two pancakes gonna do? And Luffy was the one talking about what two pancakes gonna do, and I was the one in the middle, like, yeah, but I mean, I've had some intense edge sessions. Somebody edged me for hours. No dick went anywhere, and when I tell you, I shot almost to the ceiling because it was so good. But also, that's different. Omar says side equals oral. I would not say side equals oral. It could be bondage play, it could be impact play, it could be a cuckolding, it could be oral and anal. I mean oral and there are people who get into kissing and people who get into feet. It could be waterworks, it could be a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with putting your dick in my ass. And the irony is, I think that if we decoupled sex from penetration, just like if we decoupled mannerisms from dominance and submission from sexual position, I think that we'd be able to see things a little differently if we just allowed all these things to exist separate and apart from each other. Like you can be a masculine dominant bottom or a feminine dominant top or a side who is, a butch queen. Like I just think we have so many things that we try to put together as if they equal each other. Like sex equals penetration. Or like masculinity equals top. Kevy Kev says Luffy is definitely on a hide the penis type of time. That's what he said. He said we gotta hide the penis. We dilly said, what happened? Do you want me? Oh, I don't be reading fast enough for y'all. We dilly said, what happened? Do you want me to touch you or not? And we figured out this application process is why so many of us in the LGBT community be single. Unpack that for me. On what side are you? Biran says you were describing a voyeur, Jay. Watching your partner can be really stimulating because you are experiencing them as a spectator, which is hot if you are visually stimulated. Yes. But that means you also a side. Like I've talked to people who like watching I like watching people use dildos on themselves. I had dated a dude that had a fuck machine. I love watching him use that. That changed my whole vibe. I don't have to be the one fucking him, but watching him get, run through by his own fuck machine with his own dildo that he picked and all the things. Just like I enjoy chastity. I enjoy locking my dick up for certain things. I enjoy, like, there are so many aspects of sexuality and pleasure that don't involve penetration that I think sides, it's a new concept because they are really just going through the journey of figuring out what those are for me. But I think it's perfect time to take a break. We'll be right back.
Do you know your HIV status? When you do, you can take control of your sexual health. HIV self-tests give you the power to decide when and where to test. You just swab and stick it in the tube. Test in the privacy of your own space. You can set a timer, sit back, and wait. In as little as 20 minutes, you'll know your results. No matter your test results, you have a community waiting to support you.
I love being able to test where I want.
I love that it's confidential and quick.
You gotta love free.
It makes me feel empowered.
When I show myself love, I show my community love.
It's important to know my status.
It's important to know your status.
It's cool to know,
If we all get tested, we can stop HIV together. Learn more about HIV testing, including free HIV self-tests, at cdc.gov/HIV self-testing.
What up, though? Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. It is time. Before we go, it's time to comment on some comments. Hit it. Remember, you can go to livestream.dearblackgaymen.com to join me live on the show. I do want to run through some of these comments. Cause y'all, it's very interesting what is happening in the Sip Sauce says, I feel so vanilla. You feel so vanilla? Why, Sip Sauce? Daryl Walter says, compersion is my new word. I just learned that word. Do you want to enlighten us, Daryl, about what compersion is? And well, you can enlighten us as to why you like compersion. I will tell you what compersion is. Compersion is when you get gratification from seeing someone gratified. You get happiness from seeing someone happy. You get joy from seeing others enjoy. Compersion is like compassion on steroids. It's like empathy on steroids. And so being a cuck or cuckolding, when you get sexual gratification from seeing your partner, someone you love and appreciate, being gratified, that is a part of the process. That is compersion. Manafort says, thoughts on feeding bottoms after the deed. That is aftercare. Love that. I don't know any bottom, unless you want to go again. I don't know any bottom who would turn down a meal after they've been, starving themselves and dishing their life away. Anytime that, in my experience, anytime that a bottom does not want a meal afterwards, it either means one of only two things. Either A, they want some more from you, or B, they want some more from somebody else. If they want some more from me, that means I did my job. If they want some more from somebody else, that means I sucked. Xander Cruz says, I am a compersion master then. I love seeing my top or my bottom with others and them seeing me with others. Yes, those both would be compersion. But also, like, I dated somebody who really loved seeing me on this show. They really love sitting in the audience, seeing me do what I love to do, talking to y'all. That is also compersion. They got joy from seeing me do the things that bring me joy. Baran says compersion is an antidote to jealousy. Compersion is the opposite of jealousy. Absolutely. First Wizard said, definitely on my voyeur arc at the moment, compersion adjacent. Voyeurism is definitely compersion adjacent because there doesn't have to be any intention behind voyeurism. Voyeurism is just I like watching people have sex or watching people engage in something sexual. Compersion takes it to the next level is I get pleasure from seeing them have pleasure. And usually there has to be some type of connection between two. Or C, they don't like your cooking, Jay. I don't cook after sex because I'm ready to go to sleep. And let me be very clear. You don't maintain this body without knowing how to clang some pots together. So they definitely love the cooking. I will smother the fuck out of some chicken. Xander Cruz says, is compersion a sexual role? Because that's what I am. Compersion is not a sexual role, but it can have a sexual component. It's not like top, bottom, and verse inside. Compersion is not one of those because you can be anything and enjoy compersion. Panthro says, Kevin Cat boy, you messy. He is. A King says, I didn't have a word for that, but compersion is deaf that girl, cause whoo child. Exactly. Holla at your boy. Exactly. That's a good one because sometimes we get new words for things. If it applies to you, then it feels like your eyes are opened up. If it doesn't apply to you, it feels like somebody's trying to force things on you. Compersion works for people like A King because he likes that shit. Side is harder for a lot of us to understand because we don't like that shit. And our job, though, is to allow people to experience the language in the way that works for them. If I don't like penetration, and then somebody introduces the term side to me, it feels like the heavens open up, and it just makes sense. Finally, like I had that same feeling when somebody diagnosed me with ADHD. I never realized why I couldn't just focus on something like everybody else. And then somebody gave me the term ADHD and a diagnosis, and they was like, oh God, that makes so much sense. But I can't tell you how many other people be like, that's just that white people shit that everybody got ADHD and nobody know how to, and all you need to do is learn how to focus. Leave me the fuck alone. Omar said too many words for me. Heard. Panther says, I know that's right. Jay A King says, cleared up, Jay. Okay, teammates, that is our show. Before we go, I do want to let y'all know we will not be having a show Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week because Uncle Jay will be in New Orleans. I will be going to New Orleans for the Red Dress Run. I am booked to attend one event. However, I'm not getting paid enough money to tell y'all which one. So if you see me out in the French Quarter somewhere, just come say, hey, don't touch my ass unless you get permission first. And then we will be right back here on Thursday of next week. I appreciate y'all more than I can ever express, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.